I'm here in Medjugorje next to the blue crosses which are up there, and I'm with, what's your name?
Gerald Walsh.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ireland.
From Ireland. And you said you came the first time 1987, right?
That's correct, yeah. We travelled by train, boats and trains through England, from Ireland through England, France, Italy and Slovenia, and down into Zagreb, Sarajevo. Got off in Mostar. It was Easter 1987.
Wow, and how was the experience when you came Easter here?
Oh, we came very good because it was very good. We found that it was very busy in Mostar. We decided we would stay in Mostar, but you know that was pre all this booking on the internet. So we went looking for a place to stay, and every hotel we went to was full.
1987.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of hotels here at the time?
Oh yeah.
There were already hotels.
There was, yeah. I'm talking about Mostar.
Ah, Mostar. Okay, not Medjugorje.
We got off the train in Mostar.
Yeah.
And we just walked around with.
So you said you came off the train in Mostar?
In Mostar. It was a Saturday evening, Easter Saturday 1987.
Yeah.
And we went walking around the town looking for accommodation. Mostar is quite a big town. And we passed a lot of hotels trying to get a room for the weekend in the whole lot of them, but unfortunately they were all full. And this man came over to us and he said, "Zimmer, camera," and we said, yeah, because we were getting, nervous that we may not get some place to stay. So he took us to his house and he had a family there, and he actually had rooms, 2 apartments he had. So we took the 2 apartments because there was 5 of us. My wife Pauline and our 3 children, Wayne, Gerald, Paul and Patricia. So they became very good friends of ours, and they looked after us very well and took us up to Medjugorje and showed us where to go, and brought us to the Krizovac and to show us this, the small mountain and the Blue Cross and everything, and then picked us up in the evening. And several days after they brought us, we stayed about a week maybe with them or more.
Always going back to Mostar in the evening, right?
No, we were staying with them in Mostar, of course, because they used to pick us up and bring us back.
And how was the
so that was brilliant for us because he dropped us off here in the morning, picked us up in the evening, and his name was Ivo Saravina. And unfortunately, when the war started, he was killed, and he left a family of 1 girl and 2 boys. And his wife was very sad. Obviously, the whole family were devastated. But we've been friends with the family ever since. And this person standing behind you is Mate Saravina. And he's a beautiful
man. He is.
And he's related, obviously. He's a cousin of theirs. And so we've been friends ever since. I can't remember how many times we've been here. Possibly 8 or 9 to err on the side of honesty. And we love it, And my wife, when I say, where will we go this year? Medjugorje.
So beautiful. There's the wife, by the way. So beautiful, the lady. So beautiful. Come on, the 2 of them. Look, these are beautiful people that you're going to meet in Medjugorje when you come here to Medjugorje.
So that's it, we do.
And how was the first time you came? You were dropped off 1987. If you compare to now, did something change spiritual-wise, or is still the same presence of Our Lady? Was it more presence? How do you feel coming all these years now?
Well, the atmosphere in Medjugorje did change, but the feeling for Our Lady is very profound and has still the same,
Still the same. The school of Our Lady, as they call it?
Yeah, because, I don't think that ever changes except for when you become more fervent in your, prayers to her and your belief in her. Yes, but definitely the atmosphere in the cultural aspect of the village of Medjugorje has changed a lot. Because when we came over here in 1987, it was like going back, like Ireland would say, maybe 100 years previously. And it was so restful and you know, from mental health, you know, it was brilliant sensation to see the simplicity and the generosity and the friendliness of the people, and of course to see everybody doing their own things, because you know there's a lot of poverty here. So they had a few sheep, a few goats, and a few cows and stuff like that, and lots of families doing their thing, and they were very friendly. Even though they couldn't understand us and we couldn't understand them, we did try to interact, and yeah, they were always ready to say hi, you know. But yeah, that has changed because, you know, life goes on and people become more, I don't know what you call it. But yeah, so it is a little bit different in that sense, but still you get all this sense of friendliness and, you know, reaching out. Yeah, I think it's faith really, because they're very fervent people here in the religion.
And how is it for you? You pray the rosary?
Yeah, well, yeah, yes. I'd love to say the rosary about 3 times a day. I love that because
Why do you love that so much?
I know how it's so important. But you know, I don't pray as often as my wife. She'd say loads of rosaries. I think, you know, Our Lady's message basically, if you just want to simplify it, is say the rosary, because and pray for peace. You know, and you offer up the rosary for our peace, because look at the state of the world today. You know, it's just dreadful. Look what's happening in Ukraine, for instance. And you know, it's terrible that one person, because I don't think everybody in Russia is behind what he's doing. It's just him, this evil person, doing his thing and getting away with it. But anyway, Our Lady says keep praying, pray for peace, and that's the only thing that will change the evil in the world. And I believe it will, because that's her plan. And she knows better than any of us. You know, we are just simple humans, you know, going around our ways in the daytime and trying to sort our lives the best we can. But anyway,
And you love praying the rosary from the heart? So you ask to pray the rosary from the heart, you love praying
You have to, and you know, believe me, as a human I can say, it's very difficult to be so fervent because, you know, your focus has to be spot on, and it's not always easy to keep focus because of distractions and all the human things that come into your mind. Obviously, not mentioning either the evils of the devil, because he doesn't want you praying at all, you know. He's trying to distract you by putting stuff in your brain. So you have to be aware of all that and try and stay focused. And so.
Beautiful. And you go to confession regularly?
I do. Yeah. Well, I'm in fear of not going to heaven, you see. I'm doing my best to be on the right side of Jesus so that he'll be there for me when I need him. So you know, grab me from the grasp of the devil and take me into heaven. That's my prayer, constantly, and for everybody else that I pray for. So yeah, I like praying. Actually, I thank God for the love I have for praying, that I can pray. Because you know, it's not easy for people working long, hard, trying to survive in today's trials and tribulations. And to find time to pray, and a little bit of quietness, where you can just say a quick prayer to our Lord, pray to Our Lady. It's not easy, and you know, you tell people if you say a prayer, but you know, in their mind they're thinking, how would I find time for that? You know, so it's kind of, I think you get the grace for all this if you pray as well. You see, it sort of guides you along, and so I always pray for things to go well, especially if I'm like coming to Medjugorje, for instance, that things to be no hold-ups or mishaps. And I'm a great prayer.
You feel the prayers are answered also?
Yeah, well, you don't always get what you want, you know. I mean, I'd love to win the lotto, but I mean, that's not going to happen.
All in the divine will, no?
It's you know, it's what's good for you, and you don't always see in the way it's helping you, I think, because I find to get the grace to deal with what's happening is great, rather than fixing it, because maybe that's not the plan to fix it for you, because we have to have trials and tribulations, otherwise it'd be too smooth. I mean, what would it be all about if life was like that? Because it's not. Life is, when God made the world, he put us out there and said you have a free will. Just good and bad, it's up to you. If you're bad, Lucifer will be waiting for you, and so on and so forth. So I mean, he's not going to fix everything for you, but I mean, I do feel there's times when he's right there, I do.
And what would you tell people? You know, there are people maybe out there, 20 years, no confession, they are scared to go to confession. What would you tell them that they are scared to tell the people, to the priest what happened to them? And they are fearful to go. What would you tell them?
Well, what I would tell them is very simple. Jesus is waiting for them. He's looking at them right now, arms out. He wants them to come. Because no matter, the stations of the cross, Jesus fell 3 times. That was to tell us. We're mere humans compared to Jesus, right? He's telling us, look, I fell 3 times. You can fall as many times as you like. Come to me each time. Now you do have to have, remorse. You can't be just sinning and going to confession and say, oh, because that's not going to work. You have to realize you've done wrong and just go to the priest, tell him, and Jesus is listening to that. Jesus is right there, and he will forgive you. He loves to forgive you, and it's an actual glorification of Jesus for you to go to confession, because you're telling him that you need him, that you love him, that you want to be with him for all eternity. Do you know? That's it. It's as simple as that. He loves you. He can't help himself. His love is there bursting out. All he wants is you to do is embrace it. It's as simple as that, I think.
And what would you tell? There are a lot of people out there, they think God the Father is an angry old man with a white beard and who wants to judge us all and pull us to hell. He's not like that. How would you describe God the Father? I see you have connection.
It's hard to describe him visually, but I do know as a child, I grew up when the culture for Catholics was that God was a vengeful God and he was going to put you into hell, so you're doomed. You'd actually say to yourself, what am I going to do? Sure, I'm doomed anyway. But God is not that kind of God. Vatican II changed all that and showed us that God is love. He put us on this earth because he loves us. He wanted us there in his likeness, his friends, so that we could come to him and ask him for what he wants. There again, you ask God for anything, that's glorifying him. That's telling him that he is the Almighty and that he can help us, and he loves it. When you go to him, you get a grace that you just can't, in human terms, you can't buy. You cannot. It's a grace that's just brilliant, Yeah.
And why can you tell people, why are you Catholic? Make a little promotion. You are so convinced, I can see it. What would you tell people?
Well, I was lucky. I was born a Catholic. And my mother, God rest her, was a very, very fervent Catholic. We said the rosary every night, and even as little kids, we'd be tittering away in the corner. Maybe, we wouldn't feel the full value of saying the rosary with the family. My mother wasn't too tough on us. She would just say, "Come on, behave yourselves and focus." I got my beliefs and my faith from my mother, definitely. And I'll always be thankful to her for that. So I just thank God. Would you believe every day I thank God for the gift of faith? I thank him for the massive sacrifice he made when he gave his life on the cross to save us miserable sinners, wretches, going our own way, turn our backs on him that did so much for us. And yet he welcomes us back with open arms. And I say to anybody that's afraid of confession, go back to confession. Go back and you'll feel so good, because it's just a grace that you'll get to take you through life and make your life better and happier. Yeah.
Can you also say, a lot of people say through suffering they came closer to God. Did that happen in your life?
Well, I've had some suffering. I have to say, life is a roller coaster for most people, worse for others and lesser for others. Mine was, I'd say I was blessed in a lot of ways. I cruised through life with a certain amount of little troubles and that. But I think, but I like to, now I have to say, there's times when I forget and I might be a bit angry about the fact that things aren't going my way,
We all know.
But mostly then I realise, okay, we need to offer up any mishaps and troubles and strifes that we come across, because if life is too smooth, you'd have to wonder what kind of a life you have, you know. I don't think anybody really has a very smooth passage through life.
And you know, what would you tell young people? What is important? Is there anything from the heart, because you have something to tell, what you would like to tell them?
Well, yeah, I'm afraid for young people. Now, I have to say, I'm always praising young people because they're full of goodness. But they do forget not to be involved with Jesus. They don't like to talk about him. They don't like to, when I say Jesus, I'm talking about any, you know, allied sort of names referring to Jesus, like God, the God the Father, God the Son, or the Holy Ghost, Our Lady. I think they're probably a little bit embarrassed or something. They don't want to be, because the world has changed so much. But I think, you know, that they should, you know, as early as possible, look for God's help and, you know, everything to do, and become a friend of God's before they really appreciate how friendly and how good he is to them and what he can give them. You know, he can help them, he can ease their minds, he can cure their illnesses, if it be his will. He doesn't always do this, of course, but he does in lots of ways make that passage, you know, easier for you. So I'd say, look, you know, just ask God to be your friend to help you.
Beautiful.
You know.
And at the end, you know, you're married a long time. A lot of people look for a partner, want to have a happy marriage. What would you say? How can they find the right partner and have a happy marriage?
Well, I was lucky. I think Jesus.
There she is again. What?
He organised our meeting.
She organised.
Because Pauline is my guiding star. She's a great person, very, very fervent in her faith, and a great lover of Our Lady. You see, long marriages and everything. We'll be married now 54 years next month, in June actually, the month after next. And, you know, a person said to me one time, what do you put down to the longevity of your marriage? And I started off by saying, you know, I think it's because we talk to each other and it's give and take, and it's this, that, it's the other. And next thing, this man's wife piped up and she said, does Jesus have anything to do with it, do you think? And that was an eye-opener for me, because as a human I thought we had a good marriage because I was a great fella, you know. And then I realised that's to be it all. It's just Jesus there, you know, walking us by the hand through life. And I honestly believe that, you know, well, it's our love for each other. It's the fact that I believe Jesus brought us together. Because I don't know if a lot of people believe this. I believe from the time we're formed in the palm of God's hand, he has the plan. There's very little we can do about that plan. We can be good or bad, which is a very big thing. But other than that, I think most of our choices is by divine intervention, provided we are, communicating to him, and listening to him,
And the last thing is, what would you tell people? Why should they come to Medjugorje one time? What would you tell people? Why should they come to Medjugorje one time?
Well, if they came to Medjugorje one time, what I have seen and believed to have happened, a lot of people were converted here by a visit, and they became devout, fervent faith believers. And they became a lot better people. They say this themselves. You've had some celebrities, you have all different people, and you can't wait to tell the world how they became more friendly towards Jesus and Mary and everything, and it changed their life because of their visit to Medjugorje. It's, look, what harm can it do? Give it a shot. Come to Medjugorje, it's the place to be.
And the last one is, you have a relationship with Christ. How can a person have this communication? What should they do to have this deep? But you were first in the world, and now you have this communication. How do they get it?
Yeah, well, it's very easy. If you're in your parish, if there's an hour of adoration, that's the best time. You just sit there. You don't have any agenda. You go in, quietness, focus, meditate a little bit, on Jesus. He's up there on the altar. He's waiting for you. And you just talk to him. Tell him how you feel, what you think is wrong with you, what way he can help you, and if you know you've been a bad person, tell him you're sorry and ask for his help not to be a bad person going forward, that kind of thing. I love the hour of adoration in our parish. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you for this wonderful interview, sir.
It's no problem. You're most welcome.